Last night, your brain created an entire world. It had people, places, conversations, maybe even a story. For a few moments after waking up, you remembered it perfectly. And then, it vanished. Not hours later, not days later, seconds later, as if someone reached inside your mind and deleted it. But here's the disturbing part. Scientists still don't fully understand why. How can the brain create something so vivid and then immediately throw it away? And what if forgetting dreams isn't a flaw? What if it's a feature? Because the truth behind forgotten dreams reveals something unsettling about how your mind really works. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night. Your heart is racing. You just escaped a collapsing city. You spoke to people you've never met. You watched impossible things happen. For a moment, every detail feels crystal clear. You tell yourself, I need to remember this. Then you roll over. Close your eyes. Open them again a few minutes later. And it's gone. Not blurry. Gone. Like trying to hold water in your hands. Most people experience 4 to 6 dreams every night. That's thousands of dreams every year. Tens of thousands across a lifetime. Entire universes created and destroyed. Yet we remember almost none of them. Think about that. A third of your life is spent sleeping. A large part of that time is spent dreaming. Yet most of those experiences disappear forever. It's as if there's a hidden version of your life that you never get to keep. And this is where things start getting strange. Because forgetting dreams might not be an accident at all. For years, scientists assumed dreams were simply too fragile to remember. But the deeper they looked, the less convincing that explanation became. After all, your brain remembers all kinds of useless things. An embarrassing moment from 6 years ago, a random advertisement, a song lyric you didn't want to learn. So why erase dreams? The answer may lie in what happens during sleep. While you're dreaming, some parts of the brain become astonishingly active. Visual regions light up. Emotional centers become hyperactive. The imagination runs wild. But one crucial area goes partially offline. The prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for logic, organization, and forming coherent memories. In other words, the part that usually helps you remember things is working at reduced capacity. Your brain is generating experiences, but it's not properly saving them. Imagine filming an entire movie without pressing the record button. That's essentially what may be happening. But that still doesn't explain everything. Because sometimes dreams do survive. Sometimes a dream stays with you for years. Why those dreams? And not the others? This is where everything changes. Scientists discovered something unexpected. People who wake up during or immediately after a dream are much more likely to remember it. That sounds obvious, until you realize what it implies. The dream isn't disappearing because it's weak. It's disappearing because consciousness never properly grabs it. It's like a message written in disappearing ink. The longer you wait, the more it fades. But then another question appears. Why would the brain create messages that self-destruct? And this is the part almost nobody talks about. Maybe dreams were never designed to be remembered. Maybe remembering them isn't their purpose. Think about what dreams actually do. They replay fears, mix memories together, simulate social situations, create bizarre scenarios. Some researchers believe dreams function like overnight training sessions. Your brain rehearsing life, testing possibilities, processing emotions, sorting information, not for your conscious self, for the machinery underneath, the hidden systems keeping you alive. In that sense, dreams may be more like factory work than entertainment. You don't need to remember every movement of a machine. You only need the result. When you wake up calmer, smarter, more emotionally balanced, the dream has already done its job, and suddenly forgetting becomes less mysterious. The brain isn't deleting the dream. It's keeping the lesson. But then something even stranger emerges. What if forgotten dreams are still affecting you? Imagine reading a book, then forgetting every page, yet somehow retaining the emotional impact. That sounds impossible, but your brain does this constantly. A forgotten nightmare can leave you anxious all day. A forgotten dream can improve creativity, influence decisions, change moods, without you ever knowing why. Think about that. Experiences you cannot remember, still shaping who you are. Hidden forces operating beneath awareness. The more scientists learn about the brain, the more uncomfortable this idea becomes. Because it suggests consciousness isn't running the show. It's just receiving reports, long after important decisions have already been made. And nowhere is that more obvious than in dreams. Every night, while your conscious mind disappears. Another process takes over, one that doesn't speak in language, one that doesn't care about logic, one that communicates through symbols, emotions, fragments, stories. And yet it may know more about your fears than you do, more about your desires, more about your unresolved conflicts. This is why dreams have fascinated humans for thousands of years. Ancient civilizations believed they were messages from gods, prophecies, warnings, windows into hidden worlds. Modern science rejected those explanations, but in a strange way, it replaced them with something equally unsettling: the realization that there really is another world. Not outside you, inside you. A world operating every night without your permission. A world you barely remember visiting. And here's the paradox. You spend years building an identity, a story about who you are, your beliefs, your goals, your personality. Yet every night that identity dissolves, you become someone else. Someone who accepts impossible realities. Someone who forgets the laws of physics. Someone who experiences emotions at full intensity. Then morning arrives, and that version of you disappears, as if it never existed. But did it? Or is that dream self just as real as the waking one? After all, while you were dreaming, it felt completely real. You didn't know you were asleep. You didn't know it was a dream. For those moments, that world was reality. Which raises a disturbing question. If your brain can create a convincing reality every night, how certain are you that your current reality is as stable as it seems? This isn't really a story about dreams. It's a story about memory. And memory is far less reliable than most people think. Everything you call your life, your identity, your history, depends on what your brain chooses to remember. Forget enough memories, and you become a different person. Create new memories, and your entire sense of self changes. Memory isn't just something you have. It's something you are. And dreams expose that vulnerability. Because every forgotten dream reminds us of something uncomfortable. Experiences don't need to be remembered to exist. They can happen, change us, shape us, and vanish, leaving only invisible traces behind. Tonight, you'll fall asleep. Your brain will create new worlds, new faces, new stories, new versions of reality. Some may be beautiful, some terrifying, some completely absurd. And by morning, most of them will be gone. Not because they didn't matter, but because they were never meant to stay. The strange truth is that your life isn't only made from the moments you remember. It's also made from the countless moments you've forgotten. The conversations that vanished, the feelings that faded, the dreams that dissolved before sunrise. Maybe forgetting isn't the opposite of remembering. Maybe forgetting is part of what allows us to move forward. Because if we remembered every dream, every thought, every possibility, our minds might never escape the weight of them. So tonight, when another dream disappears into darkness, remember this. Somewhere inside your mind exists an entire graveyard of forgotten worlds. Worlds you lived in, worlds you believed in, worlds that helped shape the person you became. And you'll never remember most of them, but they may remember you.